appearance in the story means it's safe to assume
Pennywise, can I tickle your nose? Hong Kong Kong. Ah! Reapers, what's this good? It's your boy Laser. You're in the scary reaction video with scary content. So I can use the 5 shocking theories on Pennywise the Clown from It. You need to hear Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Hong Kong. Enjoy scary content. Use more scary videos, features, feel that button. You subscribe, click on the notification bell icon. I'll stream on Twitch, or music. Sup, boy? That's not good. Let's step straight in this video.
The new 2017 remake of the movie It has been a widespread success, even being regarded by many as the best film adaptation of one of Stephen King's books. Stephen King is known for having an incredibly dedicated fan base, and because of this, there have been countless fan theories regarding both his books and his movies, with one of the most popular topics being Pennywise or the overall story of It. I should probably mention that it's extremely important that you've either seen or read It for many of these theories to make sense. But here are 5 truly mind-blowing theories about It.
Ooh, Hong Kong.
Number 5. This first theory is relatively short, and it comes from a user named Ben the Wicked, who says, "For those familiar with the novel, we learn that 27 years ago or so, some sort of massacre begins a year-long killing spree.
Am I gonna pop the balloon and fucking red blood's gonna come out?"
Which usually ends with some sort of major disaster. Every year, it becomes more brutal and more daring, killing in greater numbers and frequency during its active period. That is, until the losers understand the nature of Pennywise and find their way to It. In 1958, they're able to stop but not kill It, so this is the first year in recorded history that the cycle does not end with a cataclysmic event. When the losers are reunited in 1985, they again pursue It into the drainage pipes.
If I jump in here, is there gonna be a bunch of blood just touching my skin? Oh.
But if the losers had failed in 1985, the only humans that ever scared It would have been eliminated. It could then rest for 27 years and return in 2011. This would likely be the greatest attack on humanity yet, one that could not be satiated with the deaths of one town's children. In 2012, when It fed and wanted to store energy for its next cycle, it would have become a global menace. In short, Stephen...
Look at those eyes, look at those green eyes, look at the hair. I can just feel it. Would y'all lick his flesh? He's so sad! Ah!
Stephen King's character in It saved the world from 2012. Number 4. This next theory was posted by a user named Jack of Spades 7, and he says, in both the film and the book versions of the story, Pennywise is pretty scary, for both the characters and the reader. He works more psychologically, taking the character's biggest fear and using it against them, scarring them even as adults. But once they face Pennywise and he truly is It, he turns out to just be a giant spider, a form which doesn't really strike fear into the heart of the...
I love fucking demon sounds, man. Oh, look at Pennywise, my boy. Look at the blood.
Reader or viewers like Pennywise did. So why the sudden change of pace? Because as the children begin to grow up, they learn to face things such as the thing they fear most. Once the children are able to face the things they fear, those things become much less scary. And by extension, It becomes much less scary, and can't hold the power that It once had over characters. The same effect is carried over to the reader and the viewer, once they see the former terror for the sad spider that it truly is. Number 3. This next theory comes from a user named That's No Taco, who says, "Sorry if this is an old one, but I'm just getting into It. I realize that the story is part of a larger King universe, where It is a real entity. Obviously, only the children see It and his forms. For years, the town has had more disappearances and
teeth. Pennywise, bro, look at his fucking skin.
Tragedies than most, and that would have traumatized kids in the town for decades. In the photos from the book that Ben reads, you see Pennywise in the Dancing Clowns trailer. It stands to reason that Pennywise would have taken a role in helping children laugh through the pain back in the 60s, and for that reason the parents still have clown dolls in their homes. For the kids in '88, seeing the dolls and pictures of Pennywise subconsciously ingrained the character in a few of the children's minds. However, because they were never explained
Dude, imagine just looking out your fucking window, man, and you just see this buddy just peeking through. Yo, for love too.
It was more of a dark character than one of healing. The important part is that every kid initially blamed the disappearances on the biggest or most familiar fear. The kids had to be separated to be attacked because while they were together, they kept each other in check. No one else ever saw the kids' fear. Only Eddie saw the leper, Richie saw multiple clowns, and Stanley saw the weird-faced lady. It wasn't until the majority or leaders of the losers saw the clown that the others began to realize that it was really all the clown's doing. Again, the entire story takes place from these kids' perspective, so the children dying at the hand of the clown was just the loser's take on the situation. Even the main bully,
Smells like shit in here.
Henry, was just a psychopath, but it was easier for the kids to justify him going over the edge by
he turns into like Pennywise, my boy. He turns into like, I don't know, spiders, all that bullshit.
blaming the clown for influencing him.
Weird.
Number 2. This theory comes from a user named BrownSnake84, who believes that it may actually not be a fictional story. He says King received a call from Mike Hanlon in 1984 in return.
I think the original Pennywise, the original one was like much more like the first movie wasn't as good. Like the first, like if we're talking the remake, the first remake was good. The second remake was horrible. I hated the second one. The second one was all over the place. But like just the first one, because it was like 2 in 1. Like I think this like the first one, like the movie, it wasn't better, but like the clown was better. Like imagine this clown look in like the newer ones. That would have made the movies like 10 million times better. This Pennywise is so much better than the newer one.
To Maine where the events in the book unfold. He sought out assistance from the federal authorities to investigate Derry in late 1984.
Imagine this Pennywise, bro, with like the modern day actor, you know what I'm saying?
But met with several failed attempts, and by mid-1985 began to collect his memories with the help of Ben Handsome to create a permanent work to reference. With his recollections now fading due to the shapeshifter's mental effects on adults, he attempted to write the document. By early 1986, the effects of Pennywise...
Staring contest! Ooh, look at that fucking nose. Ooh. Look at that red.
on King and Handsome were nearly complete, and the document became another Stephen King horror novel, with some storytelling to provide narration. In reality, he was born in Portland, Maine, and moved away when he was young with his mother and older brother, after abandonment by his father and witnessing a fatal train accident of a close friend. He returned at age 11 to Maine from Connecticut and found the Losers Club in Derry after unsuppressing the true death of his friend who died on the railway tracks when he was 2. Now living in between Lavelle and Bangor, King travels regularly past Derry near Derry Mountain in Lincolnville and can recollect most of the past due to the closer proximity and is preparing for Pennywise's awakening in 2038.
Pennywise, tickle me.
Number 1. This theory comes from a user named SDBread619, who says, so most people who have read both of Stephen King's novels, 11/22/63 and It, will recognize 2 familiar characters who show up during Jake Epping's trip to Derry, Maine, Beverly and Richie, 2 characters of the Losers Club, the protagonists in the novel It. Now, throughout Jake's time in Derry, he feels a dark presence. That, combined with Rich and Bev's appearance in the story, means it's safe to assume
Pennywise, can I tickle your nose? Honk, honk, honk. Can I pop your bloody balloon?
Jake visits Derry during the happenings of It. Now, in the novel It, Beverly's father is possessed or at least influenced by the antagonist of the story, an otherworldly incarnation of fear itself, known as Pennywise, and begins to become very abusive with Beverly. Thankfully, she ends up getting away. So back to 11/22/63. Jake Epping is in Derry to stop the double murder-suicide of one of his students' immediate family committed by his father, which ultimately ends up leaving the student mentally stunted. It's my theory that Pennywise is to blame for this tragedy, as well as by taking control of the student's father the same way it did to Beverly's. So Pennywise the Clown features a prominent role in 11/22/63, or at the very least directly affects a major plot point.
Pennywise. I'm not scared of you anymore. Tickle my pickle. Okay, so this was a video. Enjoy it. Which one of theories on Pennywise? The most interesting reaction content.